You're a very successful director, filmmaker, husband at home. You all discuss this?
You all discuss this? I keep hearing this.
Do you all discuss this? Does he prefer narration? Because filmmaker will always prefer, no?
He's very sacrosanct about his script and his scripting process. That's something which is again very absolutely sacred to Aditya.
Yeah.
When you read Aditya's script, you can imagine scene to scene coming alive.
When you're done and it's back up, is it easy to switch off for you?
I do. I mean, if I have to give example of this film, the monologue that I have in the film, and a part of it we saw, which is the ending of the trailer. Now my co-actors, Shiba Chadda, Shiba Ji and Asim Atangni, brilliant actors. But they told me on day one that listen, we love talking. हमें बातें करना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. जिस दिन ये मोनोलॉग था, मैं गई, मैंने कुछ भी नहीं बोला, कुछ नहीं बोला, मैं अपने मार्क पे खड़ी रही, जो भी चेक, फाइनल चेक्स, फोकस डन, एवरीथिंग ओके, एक्शन. और जैसे ही कट हुआ, once I just gathered myself, the first thing I said, look to my right, good morning, how are we doing? You know, someone asked me press conference कि something about nationalistic, आपको लोग कह रहे हैं nationalistic, आप वही फिल्में करती हैं nationalistic. और मैं सोच रही हूँ कि नेशनलिस्ट होना कब से बुरा हो गया, ये कब से क्राइम हो गया.
Right, but do you also think this is this person thinking? But do you also think you're inclining towards one particular subject of films?
I don't think my filmography supports
it doesn't,
that. Yeah.
We interviewed you for Dhoom Dham last.
You have interviewed me for Dhoom Dham last. Chor Nikal Ke Bhaga, Thursday, Bala.
Was one of the best films.
Dasvi.
True.
And all the next films that you'll watch. So I feel very weird. We have to justify this.
Yeah,
I can only say I'm proud, and I think I'm just lucky.
Tell me, how important is your co-actor for you? I mean, it's very important, especially in a film like this. But you know, when do you find out? Okay, it's an Emraan Hashmi doing this film. Did you know him from before? Did you all meet on the set?
No, I didn't. We hadn't worked before. We had not met before. When I came on board, I got to know Emraan's agreed. I was very happy that Emraan's agreed to play this part because he's a really good actor.
Yami, welcome to Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you so much.
Yami, you know, I like you in a certain kind of movies. Every fan, everyone, they pictures you in different kind of roles. What do you personally like? You know, on a set, is it true that when you're on a lighter and a comedy set, it's different? When you're on a set like Haq, it's different. What do you enjoy?
I have done comedy also, but it's nothing like comedy on set. It's not like you're laughing at your own jokes and finding it funny. No, I think there's a lot of intensity behind making those scenes also, and I can vouch for it, having done a Bala, I think, in the past. I don't know. I don't have any inclination towards any particular genre. I just like overall the set to be, in the whole, at least the core members to be inclined towards making a damn good film. That's it. I'm only looking for roles which are challenging. Yes, of course. That challenge is the byproduct. I think first is something which does it have the potential to make an impact as an artist, as an actor, both ways. So that's what I'm looking at.
And you know, I can imagine a lot of offers must be coming, but how many out of these are the good ones that excite you? Ki, I will do this one. Out of 10, how many are the ones that excite you?
The ones that I've signed, they are the only ones which have excited me.
Okay.
I hope I still sound modest if I say this, but I've read over around 30-35 scripts after Article 370 because I read. I don't take narrations. I love reading scripts.
Okay.
And making my own understanding of what. If it's whatever I think the writer and director have to say, I think that's the best expression, the script. In narration, you can make it very different also. But I think the script is the true testament of how the director has originally envisioned it.
How interesting, because every actor has a different answer to this. Some prefer narration. Isn't narration more or is it different with different directors?
I think some actors really prefer narration, and I take that out of respect.
Okay.
But I still make my decision after reading a script.
Reading it, right.
I say, let me read the script. Okay, if you want to discuss something, little word from the note from the director before I start reading, sure. But let's get into a discussion after I've read the script. Then I'm sure I'll have questions, I'll have my own observations, I'll ask you. Because even if you give me narration, I will still have to read the script. That'll kill the joy of reading. And I don't like reading on iPads. I like that old school way of script. Of course we have to save paper, तो मैं बोलती हूँ आप दोनों साइड प्रिंट करके थोड़ा पेनफुल है but please थोड़ा वो दे दीजिए मुझे, but with a pencil in hand. I have a little old school way of my approach.
Nice. You're a very successful director, filmmaker, husband at home. You all discuss this?
You all discuss this? I keep hearing this.
Do you all discuss this? Does he prefer narration? Because filmmaker will always prefer, no?
His scripts are he's very sacrosanct about his script and his scripting process. That's something which is again very absolutely sacred to Aditya. When you read Aditya's script, you can imagine scene to scene coming alive.
Amazing.
Everything. You can maybe even imagine where the camera could be placed. Of course, although I think Vikash, who's Vikash Naulakha, who shot the film, he's done a tremendous job in talking about Dhurandhar.
Correct.
But his scripts, his dialogues are on point.
Okay.
And he's also a really good narrator, so he leaves it up to the actor. Like you said, there are many actors who prefers narrations and they're okay with it. There's some actors who will still read it, so he respects whatever someone's process.
Right.
Eventually hoping everyone will read it.
Right. Coming to this, now of course we're in the middle of promotions. You've lived this film completely by yourself. But when you hear a story like a woman back in the days, जिसके साथ गलत हुआ, उसके अपनों ने गलत किया, then a society comes together to do more wrong to her. She has to fight. What is it? A very inspiring story also for you?
Very inspiring story. I must be in high school only जब पहली बार नाम सुना और न्यूज़पेपर्स में बहुत आता था और एक पेक्यूलियर एक फोटो थी जो हमेशा that headshot I think एक portrait ही था. That's about it. And it was so striking.
Correct.
Something about the eyes. You could tell her. Of course उस टाइम एक आर्टिस्ट का लेंस नहीं था, but एक ह्यूमन लेंस तो तब भी था. जितनी भी अंडरस्टैंडिंग थी about life, you could tell her pain, you could tell her struggle, her journey, what it must have been. 2023 is when Suparn and Reshuna, they got the script to me, and we discussed it, and I said sometimes life really feels like it takes some moments just take you back in time machine, your journey again. The high school Yami sitting and wondering what this case is all about. I could only imagine I'm sure whatever I tried looking out for information about her personal life, there was nothing. There was nothing much, right? Only as much as even you would know.
Okay, what's in the paper?
Right. The only way for me was to work my ways backwards, because I would always imagine, I don't know which other way to put it, but how much courage would it require for a woman back in 70s, 80s to stand her ground at a time of no social media, no applause, no debates, no this, no that, nothing. I don't even think forget the intent, she could even anticipate what a massive turn it's going to be, that even 40 years later we are going to be talking about it. Perhaps there could be a film inspired by her. So that way, I think I'm very fortunate that I've gotten this opportunity to portray someone who left this impact. And so I won't say the pressure, but the responsibility was massive to do justice, at least whatever as per our sensibilities we could.
So because there's not much material about, then what is your process? Like, do you tell your filmmaker? Do you go and find out yourself? What do you do?
So anything which is technical, suppose if you are quoting something from somewhere, even during Oh My God or Article 370, I always ask my director, just let me see the source, please, just to corroborate that this is what it is. If you are saying this portion is true, I just need to see it for myself. Rest, since I said this film is an amalgamation of fiction and reality. So Reshu, Suparn, whatever we could gather, there was somebody who's helping me with the diction. He was from that hometown.
Okay.
So whatever little bit, even if that information is not mentioned in the film or the script, but somewhere आपके ज़हन में कुछ बातें रह जाती हैं, कुछ लहजा, कुछ how anything, something that gives you a little away about how should I portray this character.
Wow.
So you know, जब हम preparation की I think बात करते हैं, we go back to the physical prep and all that. I think it's the mental
prep, yeah.
emotional prep, and to understand the emotional wavelength of the person is what is important. To connect first, I think, heart to heart and mind to mind, and body language will follow that.
Yeah.
So I really, I don't know how it sounds, but before every take, I anyway take about 10 seconds before the director says action. I like just being on my own and just kind of gathering my thoughts.
Correct.
But I would just shut my eyes and I think about that picture that I'd seen when I was a teenager, and just think about her journey. So I remember what is it that I'm encapsulating, whether it's a heavy weight scene I'm performing or the lightest in the film.
Right.
But I would always have that in my subconscious mind.
Amazing. Yeah, that's really needed. That's amazing. You know, when you now that you've done this character, there's so much that you all know now. Why did she fight eventually? What was her fight? Was it just what she wanted? Did she have an idea there's something bigger? From your understanding.
From my understanding, there were two things. Respect and the fact that she was a mother.
Yeah.
I think it's love.
Yeah.
Also.
True.
What would a mother do at that situation? You know, and I would often discuss this with Suparn and Reshu that, you know, आज के दौर में जो audience को हम कैसे ये conviction लाए कि क्योंकि आज के टाइम में बोलेंगे क्या ज़रूरत है कोर्ट में जाने की, आपको क्यों चाहिए मेंटेनेंस? चलो ठीक है, आपका राइट है अगर आपको लगता है ओके, बट आप खुद कमा लो ना, आप खुद खुद कमा के आप खिलाओ अपने बच्चे को, करेक्ट, बट आप उस जमाने की बात सोचिए. आज के टाइम में भी डिवोर्स या ये चीजें, इट्स नॉट, आज इज अ सोसाइटी व्हिच एनकरेजेस फैमिली,
एंड आल्सो टुडे मोर वुमेन वर्क एंड इट्स इजी टू गेट वर्क.
बैक इन द डे कहाँ कब की बात कर रहे हैं हम? तो ऐसे में, और वो ज़्यादा पढ़ी लिखी भी नहीं थी as far as I know, but and he had legal background, he was a lawyer. तो मैं भी नहीं सकती एक्चुअली कि उस ज़माने में कैसे सबसे लड़के, वो हिम्मत आई थिंक सिर्फ एक माँ दिखा सकती है, मुझे लगता है.
Absolutely. You know, when you have a heavy scene like you were telling me in the earlier answer, and once you do that, when you're done and it's back up, is it easy to switch off for you?
I do. I mean, if I have to give example of this film, the monologue that I have in the film, and a part of it we saw, which is the ending of the trailer. Now my co-actors, Shiba Chadda, Shiba ji and Asim Atangni, brilliant actors. But they told me on day one that listen, we love talking. हमें बातें करना बहुत अच्छा लगता है, हम बहुत बातें करते हैं, तो किसी भी पॉइंट पे अगर आपको लगे कि आपको डिस्टर्बेंस हो रही है, आप बता देना हमें. मैंने कहा ठीक है, ओके श्योर, आई वाज जस्ट बीइंग नाइस एंड ऑल. तो बाकी सारे दिन ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम, यू नो, आई एम इन माय ओन लाइंस एंड इवन आई वुड से हेलो एंड दिस एंड दैट, जो भी एक नॉर्मल बात करेंगे. जिस दिन ये मोनोलॉग था और आई डोंट लाइक टॉकिंग टू मच एनी विच वेज. सीन से पहले तो ज़्यादा नहीं, अनलेस किसी को कुछ सीन डिस्कस करना है, और उस मोनोलॉग से पहले तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं. तो मैं जाती हूँ सेट पर और फ्रेम कैमरा लग गया है, फ्रेम मैं देख रही हूँ, वो ऑलरेडी वहाँ बैठे हैं और मुझे टेंशन हो रही है कि अब वो मैं जाऊँगी और बोलेंगे ऑल द बेस्ट, गुड लक, ऑल इन गुड फेथ, ऑल द बेस्ट, गुड लक, वी नो यू विल किल इट, यू हैव डन दोस लाइंस ना, एंड आई डू नॉट वांट टू टॉक एट ऑल. हाउ डू आई हैंडल दिस? सो ऐसा अब जैसे भी है, मुझे ऑल इन द सर्विस ऑफ द फिल्म इन द सीन, मैं गई, मैंने कुछ भी नहीं बोला, कुछ नहीं बोला, मैं अपने मार्क पे खड़ी रही, जो भी चेक, फाइनल चेक्स, फोकस डन, एवरीथिंग ओके, एक्शन, पूरा शॉट एक टेक में हो गया.
वाओ, दैट्स कूल.
और जैसे ही कट हुआ, once I just gathered myself, the first thing I said, looked to my right, good morning, how are we doing? Because I knew somewhere at the back of my mind that not saying a hello is also very rude, but I knew they'll understand.
Correct.
They said, listen, we were also like, oh my god, आज हम भी prep करके आए थे by the way कि आपसे हम बिल्कुल बात नहीं करेंगे, but maybe we would have been tempted to say, you know, do this to you.
Right.
So yeah.
Nice. You know, this. Tell me one thing. How do you understand? This is a very tough balance. One, to make the film thoda entertaining, but in a film like that, also to not make it jingoistic. This film is exactly that. Yeah, entertainment भी डालना है, important, like serious subject है, but jingoism भी नहीं हो जाए कि, you know, just it shouldn't be made for the wrong reasons. How do you know a director when they come to you that he will do this?
I haven't been part of any such film. ये word मैंने शायद promotions के दौरान ही ज़्यादा सुना है. You know it, Rohit. You know it. You know it from the way a director talks. आप ये बता सकते हैं. और जैसे मैंने कहा script में सब समझ में आता है. Script is black and white. There's nothing grey. There's nothing grey. The script gives you the clearest idea it can कि फिल्म का सुर क्या होने वाला है. And I think by this time most of the directors, writers, then they also know what kind of person someone is, more or less.
Correct.
That she is someone who will support a good film, who would love to be a part of a good film which has potential of playing a good character. And even she, I mean, you know, someone asked me the other day at press conference कि something about nationalistic, आपको लोग कह रहे हैं nationalistic, आप वही फिल्में करती हैं nationalistic. और मैं सोच रही हूँ कि nationalist होना कब से बुरा हो गया, ये कब से crime हो गया. मुझे लगा ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. I'm an Indian, I'm proud to be an Indian. मुझे गर्व है. और अगर मेरे craft के माध्यम से my first service is to my audience, to my film. I have to see whether that I cannot ask you to watch my film because the subject is great.
Okay.
It has to be a good film to hold on its own. So if in that I get an opportunity to tell you compelling stories, to tell you stories which celebrate unsung heroes, चाहे वो उरी हो, चाहे वो आर्टिकल 370 हो, चाहे वो हक हो, मेरे लिए तो मेरा लेंस ही कुछ और है. तो I never understood this connotation of adding any negativity to it.
Right.
In fact, not just actors, any profession you are, चाहे आप मीडिया से हैं, आप डॉक्टर हैं, आप साइंटिस्ट हैं, आप स्पोर्ट्स में हैं, आप कुछ किसी भी क्षेत्र में हैं, if you get an opportunity to make your nation proud or tell stories which which celebrate our nation, what's wrong with that?
Right. But do you also think, this is this person thinking, but do you also think you're inclining towards one particular subject of films?
I don't think my filmography supports
it doesn't,
that.
Yeah. We interviewed you for Dhoom Dhaam last.
You have interviewed me for Dhoom Dhaam last. Chor Nikal Ke Bhaga, Thursday, Bala.
One of the best films.
Dasvi.
True.
And all the next films that you'll watch. So I feel very weird we have to justify this.
Yeah, true.
I can only say I'm proud, and I think I'm just lucky that I'm getting to tell such stories.
True.
The number of personal messages that I got after Article 370 especially, from across, regardless of anyone's political inclination, that was a really good film.
Yeah.
And that is what an artist wants to hear. Now, that story belongs to whatever color one wants to give it, that's up to you.
Right.
From me, I'm an artist, I'm just doing my job and bringing some different stories to you.
Right. Tell me, how important is your co-actor for you? I mean, it's very important, especially in a film like this. But you know, when do you find out? Okay, it's an Emraan Hashmi doing this film. Did you know him from before? Did you all meet on the set?
No, I didn't. We hadn't worked before. We had not met before. Definitely not, because he's as non-social person as I am, which I knew about him pehle se hi. But of course, then eventually, when I came on board, I got to know Emraan's agreed. I was very happy that Emraan's agreed to play this part, because he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
Again, someone you could tell without having worked with someone through their body of work that they want to reinvent themselves with time, right? Which is what I think if you talk of longevity, that is what eventually all of us are trying to do. Should you wish to do. Very important. Now, being a good actor could be one thing, being a good co-actor could be another thing. And sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't work out. We'll never tell you the bad stories also, because why to say bad about anyone? But I can tell you definitely about Emraan Hashmi, that he's one of the most professional, respectful actors I've ever worked with. On time, secure, no air, absolutely nonchalant about anything. And I think what he's done in this film, it is not lopsided. I'm just talking about my monologue. He also has a monologue in the film. Ki acha, hame end mein ye dikhana. We all know what happens in the end, right? So one speech has to be stronger than the other. No, that's not the case. I think when you'll watch the film, that's on your judgment. But from writing perspective, it'll be as fair as his point of view should be, which is his truth.
Nice. That's so good to know, because I'm a big Emraan fan also. So that's really good to know that. Everybody speaks so highly of his professionalism, and he said the same thing about you also when I spoke to him. Apart from this, when will your audience see you next? Anything you can tell us at this stage?
I'm just seeing what is it that I can actually tell.
Please,
I can't tell anything officially.
Sure.
I'm working on 5 films, not together, one by one, of course. And they're all different genres, of course, from one another. Some are something which is based on real life, something mythology, something on a fantasy horror, something which is a thriller. So it's a mix of lot of genres.
I was waiting to hear the word comedy. I hope we get to see that.
There is one. One of them is. I was just holding back कि horror comedy हो गया, उसको मैं एक नया term क्या दूँ? So it's a bit of everything, and very interesting scripts. I think that's the only thing I can tell you so far, and I promise I don't take this process for granted at all.
I'm sure,
for me, script, and there is for me, every film is a massive opportunity. Where I am, I don't think you can ever be sure what the audience wants. You can ever be sure what's going to work and what's not.
True.
The only thing I can be sure of, okay, this is something which it has really excited me, and I'd love to give my best.
Right. My last question is, you said about longevity. What should one do for that? There are so many actors who's worked for so many years, they're still working. Is there a plan, or do you have something in mind? This is what I should do to just continue working. Can one plan?
Roles, select good parts, select good scripts. There is no shortcut to it. There are 2 ways, I think, right now where the industry is at, right now at least. And please correct me, you'd know better. One is this route of your PR and your marketing, where you're seen and photographed everywhere, just being everywhere, being your presence, you're in everyone's sight, and and keep doing work after the other, or hoping to do work one after the other, and getting also, regardless of how the work has turned out. And the other is a little longer route, which is you have to work your way really, really hard to dig in, to really get that one right script for yourself, or if you 2 or 3 or whatever it is, and do your best. Do really your best. Be the best person and the most hardworking person in that room. When I come on board on a film, not that I have knowledge of other departments, they're different. There are reasons that certain HODs are hired. It's their expertise. But I'm just curious as a student or as someone who's part of cinema, that how does a good frame, a good visual, how does it work? A good background score, the editing. I just go by my instinct. I watch films like an audience because there is no formula, right? I don't know what's So this is, I always love to share my perspective with the director, and we get into a lot of discussions and voice notes, and I tell him, please don't get disturbed, and I usually don't message late night, but I'm a new mother, I can do that sometimes, because sometimes just, you know, you're sleeping late, but there's an idea which has come, so I said, you can hear in the morning, don't get rattled by it. So the other is this side, कि आप अपने काम पे मेहनत करिए, अपने क्राफ्ट पे मेहनत करिए, राइटर्स हैं और ओरिजिनल स्क्रिप्ट्स लिखिए. That's why we're celebrating a Kantara today so much, because of the originality, right? And be the best in that. That is what we need.
True.
Not just for longevity of actors, but for cinemas, and definitely Indian cinema.
True. Longer route, always the best route. Yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you for entertaining us, and that's what keep entertaining us through different genres. We love it.
Thank you so much, Rohit. Thank you so much.